All right, welcome back to the SU Gang podcast. I'm here with Bobby and Mal, and this is like a little compilation where we're just putting together our immediate reactions to playoff games. At the time we started this, the Dallas massacre just finished up. Green Bay went in there and was up by 32 at one point. So we'll do our thoughts on that first, since that's the most recent. But obviously, the Texans and Chiefs games happened too. So we'll touch up on those too. But Bobby, as a fan of the Giants, how satisfying was this for you?
It's obviously very satisfying. Cowboys fans finally know how we feel after their two crimes committed like the massacres that they committed against us. They finally know like that feeling of how you're about to have a stroke because it's so frustrating. I remember when
Yep.
Daniel Jones threw that pick six to Duran, who shouldn't be an All Pro, Bland, and I was about to have a seizure. I was about to have a stroke
Mhm.
and a seizure. I hate them so much. If it'll be the perfect week if the Eagles lose, it will be the
Yep.
perfect week. But I'm so happy they lost. So
I am I'm done. I was the only one here rooting for the Cowboys like actively, and I don't care for the Cowboys. I could give I would care less about them. But the one time I asked them to do me a favor, they not only don't do it for me, they embarrass themselves while me asking them for a favor. And the Bears are gonna be poverty for the rest of my life. I'm never gonna see this team ever be good. Green Bay is gonna be good for the rest of my life. Jordan Love's gonna be so good. They're gonna draft another quarterback in 13 years. He's gonna sit behind Love for 3 years. Then he's gonna be another Hall of Fame quarterback. The cycle is gonna continue. The McCaskies are never going to sell the team ever, ever. They're the grandchildren, then the other grandchildren, the other grandchildren. It'll be passed on generations. The McCaskies will stay the Bears owners forever. I will be miserable forever. The Packers will win the Super Bowl every year, and the Bears will go 0-17 every year, and I will become suicidal. I hate being a fan of this team. I hate watching football sometimes because the Bears, they suck the joy out of me for being so poverty, and the Packers, they suck the joy out of me for always being so good. And I'm so done and I'm so pissed. And it's not. I don't care about the Cowboys. Fuck the Cowboys. I don't give a fuck about them. It's the fucking Packers, man. It's the fucking Packers. I can't even go to a social gathering and enjoy this fucking game. I hate the fucking Packers so much. I hate them
Wait, were
so
y'all at the
much.
gathering the
I
whole
don't hate them.
time?
Yes,
Damn, so your
it
dad
is.
and you were just, damn, that sucks.
It's depressed, and it's just. I don't even hate the Pack. I hate them, but I don't. I don't under. If I wasn't a Bears fan, I wouldn't hate them, obviously. But
That makes sense.
it's just oh my god it really just like it actually becomes like just it's not even fun anymore. Like it's like football is not fun. I love football, but I hate it at the same time because I root for poverty and I root against dynasties. I'm so done. And I'm so angry, and I wish I never liked this sport. Baseball's way better. JK, it's not better, but I can't wait to watch the Cubs because that team will be the only thing that gives me happiness.
I was a little more neutral, but I think like a lot of NFL fans, I hate the Cowboys as well. I will admit their hate does get a little overblown. Like I will admit, yeah, they'll be in pain, but uh what can I say? They looked great. I'm done defending Dak Prescott. I literally said like he's played better. He before this game, he had some better stats than Lamar Jackson. He actually fulfilled his promise of only 9 picks. But yeah, I have come to the realization he's just the NFC version of Tua. I'm done defending that man. And it was definitely really fun to see them choke. And this is why, like, the Packers are truly a dangerous team. Did we all pick the Cowboys to win? Obviously, but
I
I
gotta be
figured it
close
would be
though.
a very good game. And I think besides the Browns, Texans, and the Lions, Rams, like which those two are 50-50 in my opinion, this game was truly one I could see being the biggest upset and being most likely because they have four wide
they have their number.
receivers. Yeah, they have their number. They have 2 rookie tight ends, Kraft and Musgrave. They have Aaron Jones, who's coming back strong. He had 3 touchdowns, which tied their franchise record. And they have Christian Watson, Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, who had a great game today, even though his garbage time, his touchdown wasn't garbage time. He still had like 3 catches for like 60, 70 yards. He was dicing up the Dallas's zone defense like it was Swiss cheese. And Jaden Reed. They have 4 wide receivers that any of them can just go off. They have overall, Love has 6 great weapons that I think people are going to start knowing their names in a little bit. And Love also too. He and CJ Stroud are just so patient in the pocket. It's just so this is why I could have seen this being upset. Now, was it? I didn't predict it'd be this bad, but like, holy. Also, Dan Quinn, I hope John Schneider redacts that invitation to interview you for the head coaching job. You are not welcome to be the head coach of Seattle. I do not want you anymore. Get out. Allowed 48 points to be dropped on your head at home. There's no way you should be letting that shit happen.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. And also, the Packers just made history today. They are the first ever 7th seed to ever advance. Of course they are.
I mean, it's only been 3 years, so we'll see how long they are. Oh,
why wouldn't they be? Why
I
wouldn't
thought
they
you
be?
shut your phone for a second.
Does the pain does the pain and misery ever end?
Does it? And then does it ever end? Does it ever
Here's
end?
the thing with Bobby, at least his rivals lose in embarrassing fashion, especially the Cowboys every year.
But me and Bobby are basically the same fans. We're miserable. We're never happy unless, dude, literally our most hated teams losing in the playoffs is our Super Bowl. That is embarrassing. It is embarrassing for us. It's so embarrassing. Yeah. And the thing is, like, look, I want the Niners to beat Green Bay next week, which is why I have a San Francisco background. But it just shows how pathetic I am, man. It shows because it's like
I mean, I don't think they're gonna win next week. I'm saying that right now. It's kind of like a cycle, and the Niners have the Packers number, so we'll see if they can take care of them next week. Big rivalry these last few years, so I know it's gonna be loud in SF. I mean, I went there versus Seattle, and it's pretty loud, and that probably isn't even their full force. So we'll see how they do. I just hope they don't fall into the 1 seed slump, but in the past when they've been like 1 seeds, they've been able to get up there. So we'll see. But anyway, moving on, Chiefs-Dolphins game.
Tua sucks.
Yeah, their offense is pathetic. They cannot win as a Bills fan, that game wasn't even satisfying. They cannot win shit when it matters. It's just like, I don't know. Like, Mike McDaniel's still a good coach, but yeah, that team just becomes completely dysfunctional when it's December or against 500 teams. The Patriots and Jets have more wins against 500 teams than you guys. You have the same amount of wins above 500 teams as the Carolina Panthers, guys. Y'all are frauds, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Josh Allen owns your pathetic team. And that's all I have to say. And that 1 touchdown, number 1 yards average offense in the league, and you got 1 lucky touchdown because Tyreek Hill's high-end talent bailed you out with like 3 missed tackles. But and also, and also you guys didn't run the ball. Like, I don't know why Mike McDaniel didn't run the ball. Like, bro had some great runs with A-Chain, and then there's like, nah, we're going to throw. Like, it was watching them throw 100 million wide receiver screens, and then they just straight up would just, like, it would never work. It was like watching, reading the same story, and it coming to the same ending. And it was just a slow, painful death. And the Chiefs, they were getting held to field goals. Their injured defense actually was helping them, but it was just like a slow and painful death, and the offense couldn't capitalize. So yeah, I think the blame on Tua is fully warranted.
Guys also want to know why else I hate this team is because the Chiefs I don't hate the Chiefs. I hate the Giants. They're so incompetent. They have like the worst record in the NFL since 2017. Maybe they're tied with the Jets. No, maybe the Jets do because of last year. But we are so bad. The Chiefs have a record of 117-46 since 2014. Like, why can't I have this? Like, why can't the most losses they've had is 7 in a season since 2014. That's insane. The most wins the Giants have had is 11, and 2016 was a fluke. Why? I hate the Maras. I hate Dave Gettleman. Jerry Reese, you ruined this team. Daniel Jones, ni hao, buddy. If he is the starting quarterback next year, I will break something. He can't be on the field. I said this before. It's gonna hurt so much. He's not gonna be able to move.
Giants fans are going to be jumping over the podium if they draft JJ McCarthy.
If we draft JJ
That would
McCarthy,
that's the most Giants move ever because they will not take Jane Daniels because he's black. Like, I'm sorry, dude.
yeah,
the
because
Maras
John
like
Mara's
white
a
quarterbacks.
racist. John Mara's a racist. John Mara's a racist. I hate John Mara. I actually hate John Mara. He ruined this proud franchise. He ruined it. He sent us into poverty. He wanted to keep Eli Manning when he knew damn well he was past his prime. He never wanted to fix the offensive line, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He wants to do it his way. He forced Dave Gettleman to draft Saquon Barkley because we are poverty. And he's like, hey, do a draft Saquon. It'll save Eli's career. We go 5-11 that year and we blow so many leads. I can't with this team. And then we have a halfway decent year. And then he makes Joe Shane sign Daniel Jones to a 4-year, $160 million contract because we are incompetent. He thinks, oh, I see Eli Manning and Daniel Jones. I can't with this team. I can't do it anymore.
Okay.
I've been a fan.
It's horrible. I hate
I will be in pain right with you guys if the Bills blow this Steelers lead. Like, I am still so nervous because this is the most Bills thing they could do. Every time I have hope. But let's just hope that the 6-1 thing remains true. And they don't do what Dallas did, guys. Please, for the love of God.
No, because I need you to blow out KC. I need you.
Yeah. But we can't be like Dallas though, because then if we're like Dallas, we won't even be there, bro.
I need you guys to do more. I need you guys to. If you guys win by less than 2 scores, I will actually be disappointed at the Bills. Okay. I hate to.
They literally did that shit. They did that last year, though.
Harsh.
They almost, like, it's actually funny. This is going back to the Dolphins. The Dolphins were a better playoff team with a backup quarterback against us, which is honestly just hilarious. Like, we almost lost that game after having, like, a 17-point lead. But anyway,
Skylar Thompson.
If the Bills lose tomorrow, I am going to, like, delete social media. I'm going to isolate myself from that chat. It's going to be brutal. I already know that a Discord server is going to come for my head if, like, the Bills lose that. But anyway, moving on.
The wild card has been
the Browns.
Trash, man.
Moving on, Browns game. Browns, that first half versus the Texans was probably the best playoff football we have had so far. Yeah, that first half. That's what I mean. So, yeah, Joe Flacco just realized in that second half, he's like, oh no. I'm a 38-year-old man. I have kids at home. Oh no! Throws 2 back-to-back pick sixes.
It's time to turn it back over to Deshaun Watson, who likes to get massages.
Hey, I'm happy for Texans fans though, bro. They were waiting. Yeah. They first of all, let's thank Bears legend Lovie Smith because they might have taken Bryce Young, and I'm not gonna lie, Bryce Young. I mean, he was in a worse situation undoubtedly, but compared to CJ Stroud, he's a bust. Yeah, CJ is insane, bro. He beat the inexperienced, like, lack of inexperience playoff allegations. If you guys saw on the Pat McAfee
the Ohio
show,
State allegations too.
Yeah, and the Ohio State. Like, I love that man so much. I am so happy that is one of my best picks that came true because I didn't say he was offensive rookie of the year. I wasn't that perfect, but I said, like, he's better than Young. And I think he has real potential, even though he was an Ohio State guy. And this was, like, during the S2 cognition tests and all that stuff. So, yeah. But overall, yeah, the Texans, their defense, too, looks pretty dangerous. They were not allowing the Browns to run that much. And Laramie Tunzel locked up Myles Garrett pretty well. And, yeah, those are, I don't know. That was just a very satisfying game. Collins went off. Their whole offense went off. D'Amico Ryans, like, the Shanahan coaching tree is really working.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is Damar Hamlin is probably watching enjoy as his comeback player of the year award just got cemented from that
I
second
swear,
half Joe
if
Flacco
they if they
performance.
if they give it to Damar Hamlin, I'm actually gonna be angry. Like, yeah, it's incredible that he came back from his heart attack, or I don't know
Do you
what it
think
was.
Joe
He went
Flacco deserves it over Baker Mayfield still? Actually, or do you think it just depends on how Baker does versus Philly?
uh, I think it depends on how he plays versus the Eagles. So
But
yeah.
like also AJ Brown is hurt. So I mean I will say AJ's production has actually kind of dropped off,
Yeah,
but
Deontay Banks locked him up.
but
And
like but like there's a chance that could still be really meaningful.
when
So that is
Banks went
true.
out Banks went out of that game in like early in the fourth quarter. Brown had 2 catches for 12 yards when Deontay Banks was covering him. So I think, but I think if you're gonna talk about Baker Mayfield, then like I don't know, it's like if you're gonna talk about AJ Brown, it's like yeah, AJ Brown isn't gonna play, but it's also the Eagles are much more talented than the Bucks. So
That is true. Well, you still got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and
mhm.
Rashad White's been doing well. So like that gives them low key the wide receiver edge there if it since he's not out. But Smith could still make something work. Goddard could still make something work. So it'll be interesting. But I think that really shifts the odds in Tampa Bay's favor because they're looking to play upset. But anyway, as we are recording this, the Lions game just started. And holy crap, they're at the Rams 23. The Lions have the ball first. We're going to go watch this and react to this after. So we will see
Yeah.
you guys in
Can
a
we get
little
a good
bit.
game? Goodbye.
Yes, please get a good game. Bye
Good
bye.
game.
All right, welcome back, guys. So it is the afternoon before we are 1.5 hours from kickoff from the Steelers Bills game. We have 4 of 6 playoffs done. We just watched the best game of the wild card so far. The Lions winning by 1 point for their first playoff win since 1991.
Yeah. Congratulations, Detroit, man. It's been a long, long time. Your first ever playoff game hosted at Ford Field is a win, so that's actually really good if you think about it. But man, I mean, so many years of having to deal with, I mean, I shouldn't be talking shit at all, but you know what I'm trying to say though. So many years they were poverty for a lot of years, so having to deal with that, it really does suck the life out of you, man.
Our
I feel
longtime fans.
I feel for them, man. That it sucks. I mean, I root for poverty myself, so I know how that feels. I know how that feels, but I'm very happy for them. I hope they win the Super Bowl. I really do. I want them to win the Super Bowl. I'm wearing a Lions hat too, but I wanted the Browns to originally win the Super Bowl because I wanted to see their fans like get some happiness, but I mean, now it's the Lions, so I really hope that they do. And if the Packers go to the NFC Championship game, I need you to kick the shit out of them, Lions, please. And the Eagles, if they play you next week, I need you to kick the shit out of them too. But
Yeah, please beat the Eagles.
please beat the
Yeah,
Packers
so the winner of Tampa Bay is
going to
Philly's going to
Detroit.
go into Detroit. So they got thank you the Packers. They got to thank their division rival because now they got another playoff game at home, Ford Field. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
my thoughts are even if Jared Goff isn't the long-term guy, because he does sometimes make some INT mistakes, he still had a remarkable impact on this team. He was part of that like main lead that led them. He and Dan Campbell led and Aiden Hutchinson, all those guys, Amon Ra. He was one of the key contributors to lead them to out of irrelevance and their first playoff win. So honestly, no matter what happens to Jared Goff in the future, he still is a staple guy, and he did enough to get the win. He didn't make any turnovers. So even though Stafford did have a good game, so big congrats to Matthew Stafford. He technically, I feel like, outplayed Goff and still had some very surgical throws. I really don't think that man should retire. If Rodgers is coming back, he should come back. I mean, he did get beat
absolutely.
up and brutally hit a bit, but like I just don't see any reason to. Like, sure, you could do the Packers meta and maybe draft a guy, but I don't think the Rams are in high enough position to get a guy yet. So, yeah, roll with Stafford one more year. You have 2 5th rounders in Kyron Williams and Puka Nakua becoming stars.
As well, you've got like I think this is the first year they have a first round pick, and
6 years.
Exactly. And you can draft another guy, and Kobe Turner's becoming good. Aaron Donald, he had a bit of an underwhelming year, but he was getting even triple teamed by the Lions. Like, everyone knows just how great he is. And even with 3 guys, I would see Kobe Turner and some other guys still getting pressure on Goff. So, like, their D line and O line has reloaded. Overall, as a Seahawks fan, the Rams are going to be a pain in the ass in the NFC West. We could see 3 teams go above 500 next year. And yeah. So yeah, you guys don't think Stafford should retire either, right?
I don't think he should. I'm happy the Lions won because it to me, like, obviously, the Lions have been terrible for such a long time, and the Giants have been terrible for such a long time. And today's 1 year since we beat the Vikings, and I can argue that was one of the best days of my life.
Very fair.
It was just so fun. I'm happy they won. I mean, they've been so bad for so long, and they finally win, which is probably a great feeling for Lions fans. It should be a
Oh
great
yeah, the
feeling.
ones who have been fans for 30 years. I saw them like shedding tears. Like they
I
100%
cried
deserve
a
this
little after
moment.
won last year. I mean, granted, it was what 11 years since we last won a playoff game,
Still a
but
glorious game.
That's still a long time, though. 11
no, it
years.
is. It's a
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
really it's a really long time, but not as long as for what
Yeah.
they've gone through. But
Mm.
um,
Yeah, the
it was
Bears.
just it was fun to watch. Honestly, just seeing them. I don't know. It's just when you've been bad for so long, it's such a great feeling when you win. And of course, when we win, we go back to being dog shit again. But
Yeah,
good for them. I mean, I like the Chiefs. You guys know I like the Chiefs. They're like my second favorite team. But I hope they lose to. I'm so sick and tired of Taylor Swift, and if like I know, but like if they play the Bills next week, God hope I don't know. I hope they play the Bills because
the
the
Bill
Bills.
the Bills could low key lose. I am so nervous for today.
I mean,
But
the Bills
like,
and Chiefs are like my 2 and 3. Like I like them both. I have family who are Bills fans,
yeah.
so I usually root for them. But my uncle, I was just talking with my uncle who's a Bills fan. He's a little nervous for the game
Oh
because
no,
how many?
yeah. No, I'm nervous for this whole playoffs as a Bills fan. Like the Bills are going to get clowned on if they don't make it to the AFC Championship because we'll have the Chiefs at Highmark Stadium and people are going to be like, "Oh, you finally get them in Highmark Stadium and lose." Like or like overtime and Josh gets the ball first or even just Josh in overtime losing. Like there is a lot that people do not respect the Bills for and like the AFC Championship, even that will go a bit of a way, but getting to the Super Bowl will finally be some respect. But whoever makes it out, if the Bills make it to the divisional round and then win out of the Texans and the like Ravens will be tough. Like I'm not sleeping on the Texans either. There's a chance in the
No,
future,
I really like the
there's a
Texans.
chance the Ravens defense could fold them like a lawn chair because we have seen them fold really good defenses, but Stroud looks like a veteran already in a year. I've already said this. He looks like an IRL create a Madden player. He and Love look like they've been doing this for years, and Love has sat by Aaron Rodgers, so it's not surprising, but like damn, like Stroud, it's amazing. But anyway,
I like you want to
what do
get
you
to
guys
see
think about the
Stroud.
Lions' outlook, like their future? Because they had a couple games since the Ravens that they've low key goofed away. Like I could, if they improve and fix those consistencies, I could see them contending for a top NFC seed next year. Like they went 12-5 this year. Feel like they could have gone 13-4, even. Like I think
Yeah,
they could be right up there with the Niners.
they they got screwed by the what do you call it? By the
Refs.
refs against the Cowboys. But I think the Lions can win with what do you call it? Like they can win with
Goff.
Goff, obviously. This year and last year is proof that they can. I just think that I don't know. It's like it's not that Jared Goff is like limited in what he can do. It's just like I don't know. I think he's good.
He just
I think
has
he's a
some
top.
he just has some
He
mistakes,
just has
right?
bad moments,
Yeah, totally. And like that's
and their
why you can still
cornerbacks are
consider
really
him a
bad too.
bridge. Yeah,
Their cornerbacks
exactly. They need to
like
continue to improve their secondary. We thought it'd be
and you
fixed this year.
and I think you guys could argue that there was pass interference on Cam Sutton when he was covering the Kua on that third down play. I
Yeah.
think it was third.
Okay, listen. I understand it's PI, but at the same time, ain't no way Rams fans are complaining about a PI in a playoff game and a crucial thing. They did that to the Saints. This is karma for the Saints game, bro.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess.
This is
guess,
karma.
but
But yeah, it is PI. There was some like
Wait, there's
what
no
was
such
it?
thing as Rams fans, by the way. No disrespect, but there's no such thing as a Rams fan. Rams fans
There's no
don't
such
exist.
thing as Chargers fans, bro. There's a few Rams fans.
Either of them. People, they just wear their jerseys. They probably don't even know what team they wear the jersey and they probably don't even know
Yeah.
what team they're repping. They're just like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
wearing the jersey.
But like going back to the Lions outlook, the only thing is they could also still fall to like 11 and 10 wins potentially because the Bears play them tough. They're like the
The Bears
Commanders
do play
almost
them
against
tough.
the Eagles. And you also got to
Yeah,
factor in like they should have lost that home game versus the Bears
yeah, that's
as well and got swept by them. And then also you have the idea of the Packers and Vikings. Like if the Vikings keep Kirk, they will also be a 10-win team at least, I feel like. And you also got the Packers. The first time they played them, they didn't gel together. Now they're gelled together. So I think it will be the Packers and Lions going at it for that division. And I think the Lions got the slight edge, but like it's that division is going to be tough. It could be like the low
uh,
key the AFC North next year. Even like it's going to be a
mm,
really competitive division.
no,
Frankly,
this
we see a lot of competitive divisions. Rodgers healthy with the Jets. The AFC and NFCs could be really good. The both Norths could be good. The NFC West could be good. Like we could see a lot of. I mean, again, I don't want to jinx it because every time I thought the AFC West would be competitive when Russ went over there, and there's always some disappointment. But like we could see like 5 of the divisions being absolute dogfights next year.
I genuinely believe the NFCs could have like I don't know why with the Cowboys implosion against the Packers, a lot of unknowns with Dick Sirianni and the Eagles heading into today, and the
Very
Commanders and
true.
Giants sort of being in a rebuild stage. I think the NFC East is completely up for grabs next year.
Oh,
Granted, I don't think
totally.
it's
And we've never
I
seen a repeat champion since like what,
since
2004?
2004 with the
Yeah,
Eagles when they.
exactly. When they lost to Tom Brady, so
So
be
there's a part of
crazy.
me that gets the delusion that, hey, if the Giants have a good draft and they can hit on their players and have a good free agency, like there's a shot we can win the division. But then there's like reality sets in, and I'm like, this team is so bad, I can never have joy with them. So it's like, what's the point of even like somewhat believing in them if they're just gonna?
And the
I
commies could
know.
rebuild too,
yeah.
so you
The
never
Bears are gonna
know.
be yeah.
I
No,
feel like the Bear.
the
Oh,
Bears.
what team is not the Bears? The Commanders are like they are so bad. Like they're in such a mess. Like they've got. I mean, they're gonna have a lot of cap space, which is great for them. Like wanting to sign, like I don't know, but I think that their problem is like I don't know what they're gonna do with that second pick because it's like, yeah, Sam Howell showed some moments of greatness, but then he also was terrible some games. So I mean, I think some of them are split. Like I've seen some Commanders fans say keep Howell, draft Caleb
They,
or draft May, but I have no clue what they're doing. So
I could see Sam being a bridge, maybe. I think it's entirely possible. Will you get like Caleb or Drake May or somebody? I just hope Jaden Daniels is there for the Giants. I really want to see him go to the Giants.
I do too. I'm so done with
And
Daniel
Cardinals
Jones.
are not drafting a QB. They're gonna try to draft a receiver. And
I
then
think I
Patriots
think
also will
so.
want a guy though. Patriots will also want a quarterback though
See,
too.
I think this is really dependent on the Bears and what they do
For
with
real. It will change up the whole draft if they trade it down versus get Williams.
no, it's not even if they trade down. If they take a quarterback,
Yeah,
then
I
it's
said take
like the
Williams
Giants.
or
No. But like the Giants are in such a like it's like they're not going to be able to get anybody because
oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
get a trade.
Maybe I mean they would have to trade up, but if the Patriots want a quarterback, the Patriots are not going to trade up.
but then someone like I think I could see a team jumping to 4 to maybe take a shot and get a quarterback if there's one available at 4, which I think if
I
you're
think there's a
Joe
high
Shane,
chance.
I think if you're Joe Shane, you have to trade up to number 1 because if you want a quarterback, you have to go to 1. 6 to
The
1,
move is
it's
now. Move is now.
the move. It's I'd say
Chargers
like
also
wait
have the
after
5th
free agency.
overall pick. I feel like they might trade down too for a team that wants a QB, but it would have to be like a lower, I guess, tier team, like maybe Atlanta. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there, guys. I'm just throwing shit out there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I understand.
Bears are in
Yeah,
a
I
really like
because
confusing
like
situation.
Chargers, they got their guy in Herbert. They're hoping they can get a good head coach, and all that. But anyway, back to the NFC East. What do you guys think about like Dallas's future? Because like Dan Quinn, there's a high chance he's gone. They're probably going to axe McCarthy. They're going to
they've
probably
also got
try
a
to
lot of
keep
pending
CD.
free agents too.
Yeah, exactly. Like there, and also like Dak next year. I don't think cutting Dak is really a question here because he is still a franchise QB. He had his like second best year this year, and like franchise QBs are sometimes a little harder to come across, and especially with the draft coming up and already a lot of teams that want a QB more than like the top 3 that will be available in that top 10. You'll just want to keep him, and especially if you cut him, you'll be eating so much dead cap. And honestly, I think you re-sign him. Lamb had a great year. Like there's just a lot. I think they might blow it up like Seattle and start over because at this point that experiment's done, and Dan Quinn letting up 48 at home is just embarrassing. I don't want him. I don't know if I want him as our head coach anymore. I hope Seattle's considering redacting that interview or at least opening up the pool a little wider because he was originally one of their top 2 guys that they were scheduled to do an interview, and they're probably still going to do it. But like, I think you should open up the table for Mike Vrabel and those Ben Johnson, those other guys.
Yeah.
But sorry,
no,
focusing on Dallas here. What do you guys think?
I think they're in like a tricky situation. It's going to be so hard because they've drafted so well the last few years since 2019-ish that you hit on late round picks like Pollard. So you're going to have to pay him. Then you have Micah Parsons, who they're going to obviously pick up his 5th-year option. And then
They're going to try to sign him big to a big deal.
No, and that's the problem because it's like
How much
you're
cap do they even
allotted-
have? How much of the cap
I
do they
don't-
even have?
I'll check, and then they're gonna pick up
I'll
Lamb's.
check.
They've already picked up Lamb's 5th-year option, so that's gonna be a lot of money invested into another position.
Wait, I'm just curious. For the 5th-year option, I know obviously you can pick that up and then do a deal, but I know some guys like DK, they just signed to these multi-year like extensions after 4 years. So like, did they do that with CD? They didn't do that with CD yet. They just picked up his 5th year, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because yeah, like
And
DK
I
got
think
signed to like a 3-year, $72 million deal. Debo got slightly paid
30
more.
The Cowboys have negative 11 million in cap space. So if you cut Dak, that's
God, that's
the
can't
Bills
do
have
that,
negative
bro.
43 and the Saints have negative 75.
What the fuck? God,
No,
that
they've been
Von
like
Miller deal fucking hurts, dude. I'm telling you, that Von Miller deal hurts. We gave him a lot of money, and he's not doing enough.
I mean,
God.
the Rams have 90 million to spend, which is insane.
Yeah,
Houston
exactly.
has-
It's why they're going to be freaking great. Like, I
Houston
hate it.
has 74 million to spend. Indianapolis, the Giants have 37. The Bears have 62. So
Seattle is like
if
16 million only, and they have to think about re-signing Bobby, Jordan Brooks, Noah Fant, Leonard Williams. Like, they have 4 or 5 guys that like we can't really let go, but someone's gonna have to go because 16 million cap's gonna be tough. And if we can't cut Tyler Lockett or Jamal Adams either.
What do you? It says on this they have 4 million to like. I don't know. Maybe it's wrong, but it says they have.
I
4
don't know.
million.
I saw 16, but there's a chance like I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Wait, so Cowboys have negative 11 million? Is that what you said, or is that somebody else?
Yeah, they've got negative 11 million.
It says the Cowboys will restructure Diggs's base salary to create some cap space.
But then you're pushing it back. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
because
I
that's
know,
what
I know. That's what a cap space is. Cowboys bosses Jerry. There's a there's a chance they'll try. I think Jerry Jones is going to try to work some magic because we've seen
I
from
think
the
he's a
Saints
terrible.
before the cap isn't entirely like it's something you can kind of avoid a bit. But yeah, the Bills also kind of scare me too. But anyway, this is more about playoff reactions. We kind of talked about that.
I think the Cowboys are in such a tricky spot, but
That is true. I think the best thing you do is just try to get Micah and CD back, even if it's just fifth years, and then keep Dak. Try to just get a new coaching staff and see how it goes because you have talent enough to still make it to the playoffs. The question is like, can Philly bounce back? And then the Giants and Commanders are in a rebuilding state, so like you could
I
still
think the
contend for that division.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I have a little bias towards the Giants because they're my favorite
Mhm.
team, but I think we're closer than a lot of people think we are. We've got a
That's
lot
very
of
fair. Yeah, if you get a quarterback, that's already so huge.
All right, so we've got what? We've got some nice pieces in the secondary: Banks, McKinney, Pinnock, Belton, Bobby Okereke, and Micah McFadden are great. Thibodeau is really up and down, but I think if he gets like the right coaching scheme around him, he could be really good. Dexter Lawrence obviously is great. Who else do we have? Ashawn Robinson was good this year. Ojolari, one more year, or Nihao, buddy. Then Andrew Thomas. I don't know about Saquon. It's like I'm
Saquon
probably
did his
leaning towards.
franchise tag deal. I don't know if you'll let him go or not. I mean,
I think
Jonathan
we're.
Taylor's the first of those running backs. You remember when they were protesting this offseason to get like an extension? And I think it was fair because when healthy, I think he really can help a Colts and Anthony Richardson offense. And I think Barkley can too. But like, do you re-sign Barkley or let him walk?
It's like tough. I don't know. It's like I'm not saying that I wasn't. I was kind of discouraged this season by Saquon. It's like he
You
doesn't
guys
have
have
that
22 million in cap space, right? Giants.
39 or 36. I think we have.
Okay, I'm on
But we're
over the
gonna.
cap.com, so my stuff might be a little wrong.
I'm on Sports Track, which was the first one that just showed up. But I
Okay,
think,
it's like possible you could sign him to a deal.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know if I want to because we've got a lot of other. Like, I want to bring back Isaiah Simmons. I definitely want to bring back Xavier McKinney. Who else do I want us to bring back? I want us to sign an offensive lineman. I think we could go after Bryce Huff from the Jets, who had 10 sacks this year, and get more edge help. Who, I mean, we would have to restructure some contracts like Darren Waller's. Daniel Jones has to take a pay cut. He has to
Oh
take
yeah,
a pay
he's
cut.
hurting you guys.
Like he's
1000%.
if the only way I want him on the team is if he takes like a $15 million pay cut, but I doubt he never will. That's the thing.
Yeah, he just he and his agent just were like, all right, we fleeced y'all. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't really cut him either, right? That's not an option
No, because
because
it's 69. It's 69 million in dead cap.
oh yeah. That was
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was questioning that contract ever since it got signed. Like
I wanted the
you
franchise
paid
tag.
you paid more than Geno Smith, and I was like, bro. But yeah, I'm
I
happy. I'm happy Geno Smith got like a 2 or 3 year extension because like he was not the problem in my opinion. It was our defense and other coaching. I'm fine with them being a bridge if we get someone like lower tier like Penix or Bonex or someone, but uh yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think the Bears are actually really far from ever being good.
I
You
think
guys
they're
have a
close.
fuck ton of cap space though. Y'all got like
And
the quarterback is going what you guys do with number one is going to set the tone. But you guys, if you keep Fields, which again is looking a lot more bleak now, you guys have a chance to really improve your team around you just
And
regardless.
you could also
the Vikings
get a
with
third.
Kirk are a playoff team. The Packers drafted God again, and the Lions are going to be good for in the future. So who's the worst team? Oh yeah, this shit the shitty ass Chicago Bears.
Very small chance, man. Well, again, there's the factor of one, we've always seen some disappointments when it comes to clashing divisions besides the AFC North. And two, there is a chance, like low key, the North has a maybe, depending on what the Bears do, have a higher chance of having all three teams make it in the wild card, but you'll have to compete with two NFC West wild card teams and an East. So again, it's a bleak, but there's a chance. It's like you said about playoff teams. No matter what you lose, you have a chance, right? So I'm kind of applying the logic
head coach that deserves to be on the Falcons or the Chargers, Mr. Choke himself. Fucking Matt Eberflus, the guy that choked us all these games.
This is why this show is not going to be made for kids, because he just did that shit. I'm just kidding. I already click no because it disables comments if I do it, and we've sworn here before, so it's like it's okay. It doesn't make a difference. It's basically saying it recommends it to a wider range of people, so it actually is better to click no. But I know this is unrelated. This is just YouTube uploading shit, but I wish there was an option to just be neutral, so it goes out to everyone. But
oh man,
well, this is a kids show. What? I'm just kidding. It's not a kids show. We are high schoolers doing this shit for fun. Yeah. All right. Anyway, guys, we will get back to you with the Bills and Bucks reaction. Going back to the Lions, I think they have a very high chance now to make the NFC Championship. I think they're going to beat whoever comes out of that Philly Bucks matchup, and we'll see. I mean, I am so excited for a Brock Purdy versus Jared Goff NFC Championship, even if they get their butt kicked. Like I have, it's like Anakin and Obi-Wan, that Revenge of the Sith duo. That is the potential we could see from that NFC Championship match.
I think it's going to be Jared Goff versus
scoring. That is also possible. Like the Packers are now a dark horse. Like there is a chance they could catch the Packers have shown, hey, we are not a team to sleep on anymore. And I hope the Niners take advantage of that. I think there's a very high chance they can. I think their defense will be a lot better than whatever the fuck Dallas was doing, leaving Luke Musgrave wide the fuck open for like a big ass touchdown. Like their DC is not going to be doing that.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur is he's a good coach, man. What can I say?
Yeah, also, like, the talent you have in the O-line, like, I feel like the run game will also be a lot better for, and the run defense will be a lot better for San Fran, running on both sides of the ball.
It's unbelievable, man. They're gonna be so good for a long time. Jordan Love's played well. And look, I don't want to take anything away from him. He's really, 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 really good, but he also has really good coaching. When you have a franchise coach and a franchise quarterback, you're gonna be good for a long ass time. They don't know pain. They never will know pain. There's no such thing as pain in Green Bay. Playoff pain doesn't count. Okay, playoff pain is
I agree.
Cry me a river. Cry me a river.
Playoff pain, it depends. It's better, but it also is like it's all relative. Like at the end of the day, everyone's making is trying to push for the Super Bowl, And if you lose in embarrassing fashion every year or stuck as a wild card team, you're kind of the same as some of those 7-10 and like 9-8, like missing the playoff teams. That is just my personal opinion. Now, if you're a Chiefs fan, you don't have a right to complain because you've won the division for 8 straight years. Or a Patriots fan. Yes, or a Patriots fan.
Or a Packers fan.
Or a Packers fan.
For 30 years.
No. I think they know that. They know that.
They're going to be good for another fucking 15 years. That's going to be 45 years. 45. Do you understand how crazy that is? Dude, oh my God. They're going to... Lions, enjoy your one fucking year of winning the NFC North because the Packers are going to be good for the next 15 years.
It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight between them.
Enjoy your 1 year of being in NFC North. Vikings don't expect to ever win the NFC North, and Bears don't even expect to be in third place. Expect to be in fourth place every single year.
All right, what's going on, guys? So we're going to be doing recordings of our reactions for the Eagles-Bucks game and the Bills-Steelers game because we all have different stuff going on, especially me. So we're going to do that.
3 words. Cry, Eagles, cry.
Going on to the Eagles-Bucks game because that just finished up. The Eagles fall-off needs to be studied. They went from 10-1 to 11-7 if you count the playoff loss that just happened recently. And like that's going from essentially 10-1 to 1-6. That is embarrassing by any stretch of the imagination. Now, they already were a fluky team because they had wide receivers dropping passes, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they should have, if the Chiefs MVS could have come down with that pass. That's an example of where the Eagles could have lost. So they had they never had even comfortable wins in that hot 10-1 stretch. And then they continued to lose to teams like the Cardinals and Giants, top 10 draft picks teams, which is just flat out embarrassing. And those were with pretty much their team fully healthy. So overall, Eagles are a disaster. They rely way too much, I think, on their talent to bail them out of their lack of having any good coordinators. I mean, the fact that Matt Patricia is your guy to come in and be the DC after your last DC sucked speaks for itself on how ass it is. And I'm not saying Sirianni's going to get fired, but I think he's going to be on the warm seat entering into this offseason and the next season because that team, his decision-making on who the coordinators should be has shown to be pretty ass. And listen, some fans are going to hate him for being cocky and douchey. They went 2-6 since Chiefs fans, I don't hear shit anymore, all that stuff. It's good when you're winning, but when you're losing, it doesn't look good. And his lack of having good decisions about his coordinators shows this. And on top of that, the Eagles are only going to get worse from here. They still will have some offensive talent, but Kelsey's retiring. Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox are probably going to retire. Jason Kelsey. Well, not Jason Kelsey. I just said Jason Kelsey. Lane Johnson's on a 1-year deal left. Their O-line and D-line, a.k.a. the strengths of their team, are going to be significantly weakened. I don't think the tush push will work as well without stud guys like them. But yeah, sad that Kelsey's retiring, but I'm happy he went out on his own terms. He went out, at the end of the day, he's still so good. It just is really whether he wanted to continue playing or not. And I think he definitely ended on a decent note. I think the Eagles will be worse from here. I understand why he came back this year to try win and ring. But anyway, Bucks, not much to say. Their team showed up. This is random, but David Moore got one of their touchdowns, and he's a former Seahawk. He used to be our wide receiver threat in 2019 as like a deep threat, slot wide receiver. I'm really happy that he hasn't really been back in the league since 2019 until this year, and he's had some touchdowns with the Bucks, so I'm happy for him. And I'm happy for Baker, too. The Browns, in my opinion, stabbed him in the back, and he's their one QB they got a playoff win with, and now he is continuing to prove people wrong, and I think that he could have a chance at upsetting the Lions. So I'm really happy for his insanity run. There is a realistic chance they could end up in the NFC Championship. I was shitting on Todd Bowles, saying that like he was going to be the first guy to get fired midseason, and he helped lead a 9-8 team to have a shot at making a deep playoff run, which is just crazy. So all congrats to them. All right, next up, the Buffalo Bills and the Steelers. That first half was almost flawless. We went up 21-0, forced a fumble. It was great. The Josh Allen run was absolutely amazing. And the first pass after that fumble to Dalton Kincaid was a masterpiece. A masterpiece. Now, the part that I'm scared of is our defense got injured to hell and back in that second half, and that resulted in the Bills missing a lot of tackles, and it was to the point where went from 21-0 to 17-24. The Bills then scored a clutch touchdown when they needed to, and Josh didn't turn the ball over at all. So the offense had a good day overall, but the defense just couldn't tackle and allowed the Steelers to have a lot of sustained drives. So overall, the Bills come out of that with a good win. Josh didn't turn the ball over. He had 3 touchdowns, he had three touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, no INTs, but the defense has come out scathed. Their DBs and their linebackers are paper thin. That makes me very nervous versus KC. So overall, I'm very excited for the KC rematch, this time in Buffalo for the first time in like ever since Josh Allen and Mahomes faced, all of them have been Arrowhead. So I'm really excited about that. But like, still very nervous. I hope our defense can rest up because we're going to need it. And that could be crucial whether we go to the AFC Championship or not. But regardless, great win. Go Bills.
My quick reactions to the playoff games on the Monday. Bills-Steelers. I thought the Bills were in complete control of that game. I thought there was a couple breaks for Steelers, which allowed them to, score the points that they did. I didn't think Mason Rudolph, he played pretty decent, especially considering, the weather that they were in. The one pick was very crucial in the end zone when it was 14-0. It could have at least been 14-3 at that point. And at that point, we're looking at a much closer game, and who knows? Maybe the Steelers win, but I think the Bills overall they played their game. They played great. Josh played great, and yeah. And then as for Bucks Eagles, man, do you fire Sirianni? I mean, Jesus, man. Your point differential's not very good. They've scored 6 more points than they have allowed. That's a little concerning in its own right. And not only that, but you've also got to realize that, man, they started off 10-1 and 11-7. They've gone 1-6 since. And even when they were winning games, they never won convincingly. The last time I can recall them winning by more than a score, it was the Dolphins-Eagles game and the Rams-Eagles game, in which even in those games, even though they won by 2 scores, for the most part, the game was very close in those games. So you start to wonder, what is Philly doing? And I think a lot of it comes down to coaching, They've got a talented roster. I think Sean Desai was always a bad defensive coordinator. As a Bears fan, I have experience with him coordinating our defense and ruining it. So he's not good, but the fact that Matt Patricia is making Sean Desai look way better is very concerning because Sean Desai is horrible. And if you make Sean Desai look better than you, then you are really, really bad. And Matt Patricia, holy crap, he is terrible. And so, and then Brian Johnson, he needs to get out of there. But, yeah, Nick Sirianni, man, he's got kind of a cocky attitude. And it had to happen, right? The Eagles had to lose first round. As for the Bucks, man, congrats to them, man. The Bucks, you know what, man? Whatever happens next week is what happens. They've had a great season. They went 9-8, and in a division, I get it. Granted, the division's not very good, but Baker Mayfield was able to throw for 4,000 yards and 28 touchdowns. Now that game versus the Panthers, he played very, very concerning, but still. So yeah, that's all I had to say. I can't wait for the divisional round. This wild card round of games was horrible. The only game that was actually good was Lions-Rams. Every other game sucked. I'm not going to lie to you. And I hope the Niners beat the Green Bay Packers. Although, regardless of what happens in that game, the Bears are fucked for the next 15 years. We're going to be poverty forever. And we just interviewed Greg Roman. And so we're going to be even more poverty. But anyway, that's beside the point. Those are my reactions to the games. And hopefully we get some good playoff games next weekend for the divisional round.